Hello and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Garden Roundtable. Today we're going to be taking a look at the politics of the opposition. During Parliament, Manipur was raised, there was a no confidence motion, and the government also replied. In fact, it seemed to be the curtain, as if the bugle for the next elections had been sounded. This was followed, of course, by the Prime Minister's speech from the Red Fort. It does seem as if both the opposition and the government are getting their lines ready as to what narrative they're going to be taking to the people in 2024. My question today before the panel would be that the opposition has managed to nail the government on Manipur. But now what next? Is the Manipur story done and dusted now that has been raised in parliament, or will the opposition continue hammering the government on Manipur because that issue is far from resolved? There are also other issues that are coming up: the economy, the state elections, Diwali is coming, so price hike, price of tomatoes is going to be a big issue. Joining me on the panel to take a look at what are the issues that the opposition can raise and will be raising, I have with me a panel. Joining me is Javed Ansari. He's a political analyst and a commentator and a columnist. I have PKD Nambiar. He's a brand image guru and a political commentator. I have Dilip Cherian, political analyst, image guru, and brand guru. And Tehseem Poonawala. He's a Congress supporter and a senior advocate. Javed, you know a lot of what is happening within the opposition, especially the Congress. So you think the Congress is now, Manipur has been raised pretty effectively by them. Now, what next will the Congress and the opposition plan to do?
Look, it can't be a one election issue, a one issue election. Manipur will be a part of a bouquet of issues. But Manipur cannot be the overriding issue. You need to have issues that the common man, say in Madhya Pradesh or Bhilwara or in Ghazipur or in Bihar or somewhere, will relate to. So while everybody sympathizes or is concerned by what is happening in Manipur, there is no personal connect in that sense. So it has to be the trick for the opposition would be to have issues to which the common person, the average voter can relate to, especially economic issues. You have to relate. If you talk of price rise, if you talk of joblessness, if you talk of mismanagement of the economy, there will be an instant connect because you go out, you don't even have to go out on the street. Every household is now hit. My own household is hit. There are certain things that we can indulge in, we can buy. There are a lot of things which we cannot buy. So if I am hit, I'm sure a lot of everybody else is hit as well. So the economy has to be that main issue. You have to, and the narrative has to be turned in a way, played out in a way in which the common person can relate to. Then have joblessness. Then there is the question of mishandling. There is this question of bias, total bias in application of laws. So much so that now you've had a high court say that there's been ethnic cleansing. Again, they need to be very clever on how to do this because the BJP will immediately turn it into a Hindu versus Muslim issue, and then you will end up playing into their hands. So they need to be smart. They need to be smart on how they play it, whether at all they need to approach this full on or skirt the issue. So the security issue and how they said this is a very strong sarkar, a strong sarkar which keeps buckling at the knees when it comes to the Chinese. We've had hundreds of core commander meetings and this meeting and that meeting. Step aside in the heads of state meeting in Bali, and nothing has come out. Thousands of kilometers are still under Chinese occupation. It's all very well to say our troops. Yes, of course our troops are there. We salute them morning, evening, and night. They are the ones who have prevented them from coming further. So there are multiple issues. Depends on how they frame it and how they play it. It cannot be just Manipur. It cannot be just divisiveness. It cannot be just the economy. The economy should be full frontal. Everything else should coalesce around it.
So Dilip, you're a master at narrative building. What narrative will work for the opposition? Because we always say the BJP has this narrative in place, but the opposition doesn't. Economy is something that is something which has far-reaching implications, especially in today's world, today's age. So would that be a good issue for the opposition to build?
Thanks, Priya. I think that Javed has indicated some of the key issues, and those all of them matter. I think that unlike big national issues, the opposition, since it is fighting in a kind of loose, jaggedy-edged coalition, also needs to have semi-local issues. For example, I think that this time, um, if the opposition is smart enough, the entire South must rise up in antagonism to the coming delimitation, which will actually reduce the number of seats the entire South will have in Parliament. Now, this is a lethal political issue, and it needs to be unrolled in a manner which raises bigger national issues, which would lead to the kind of GST regime we've had. So I agree with Javed that you will need multiplicity of issues. And the only point I'm adding to it is that because you're going to be in a kind of Raggedy Ann coalition situation, you need to look at regional issues that matter in different places.
Regional issues, that's also a very good point. PKT, how do you take it from here? You know, in terms of if the opposition is already raising recession, the economy, the high prices, regional parties are coming together. So they're going to be giving you a new issue in every state also, if, you know, they follow what Dilip has suggested. How do you see the government handling this?
Well, I think I agree to disagree to both Ansari Saab and Dilip ji. The politics do not work on this platform. So you have to have a momentum of one is something called as static issue, which is you are consistently taking on and you are able to create public movement. I have not seen a single public movement except the farmers' protest during that time or the citizenship amendment bill, CAA bill. That's it. Other than that, I have never seen a single protest. Even in
like the Nirbhaya.
Or like a Nirbhaya. So as you said, whether it is against unemployment, whether it is you're talking about the price rise and etc. Last month we were at 4.77% of the inflation, and this last month, and the last month it has gone up to 7.44 thanks to maybe tomato and some of those veggies. But the bottom line is that is there a public anger against a government? How will you, even if not there, is the opposition is able to create that public anger and convert that into an vote against the Modi government or the government in place? I don't think I have never seen even a single that kind of a movement were happening anywhere in the country. Even during the Karnataka elections, it was a different story altogether. They were talking about the corruption of that government. Now, recently, there was a CAG report and the 7 things have come up. And do you know that the saddest part is that the Congress don't even know how to place it in its favor, because most of those allegations or the CAG reports were already been answered by many ministers. Even in for an example, in the case of Dwarka Expressway, it was already been answered by Nitin Gadkari from the last 4 years. Why it has been delayed? Why there was a hike in the overall spending and etc. So there is nothing. There is no the opposition is not weaponized yet. They need to maybe it's politics and it's India. It's 140 crore people. There may be an issue which may come up. As of now, this economy at what we are talking about, the price rise, unemployment, they have not been converted into a movement. Till the time they are not a movement, there is no political.
Okay. Tessie, I've kept you last because I know you and PKT will agree and disagree, and I know you want to counter him. So I'm giving you the right to rebuttal. There's no mass movement and no mass vocalization, but is there a silent, apathy against the government? Price hike is an issue hitting every household.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Priya. And yes, there is a silent suffering that people are undergoing because of unemployment and price rise. And it's a twin sword that's hitting extremely hard, as Javed Saab rightly said. If his house is affected and if all our houses are affected, then you imagine what is happening to the common man. The fact of the matter is that this government picks up stories on economy and has no specific answer. For example, they say, look, we are the 5th largest economy in the world, set to be 3rd. But also, where they hoga hi, Pradhan Mantri ji kuch bhi keh de. Fact is, why is the highest migration out of India happening today? This is with HNI, this is with people. Why is it happening? If you are the world's most prosperous economy, why aren't people from other countries, for example, from England coming to India or from the US? Why are Indians going to US, England, even illegally to stay there? because there is suffering in India. That is massive, and this is to do with it. I agree with what PKD says that should be even more spoken about, and the India Alliance will bring it up. If you see the recent exit polls that have come out, you see that the alliance is very close. It's 42% for ND and 40% for INDI. The momentum is for INDI. Why are people not speaking more about it? Is because there is severe fear of repercussions, which never happened before Priya. Priya, I remember not too long ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago, on prime time at 9 p.m., you guys as journalists, Javed Saab, I remember I would watch him on his erstwhile channel, would crack jokes on the Prime Minister, would take the class of the Prime Minister. Today, an academician on his private YouTube channel has been kicked out by an educational institute for saying people should be educated. Just think about where our country has gone in the last 10 years. Is this not affecting people? You may think, and PKD may, in an elite way, think this does not affect the common man. The common man in India is not stupid, understands it. He may be, or she may be silent. They don't know what is happening. A second issue, adding to the issue what Dilip rightly said, will be a plethora of issues that will take it. It won't be just Manipur. It will be a plethora of issues. One of it is, of course, South India, the delimitation, which Dilip also includes my state of Maharashtra, which has done phenomenally well on population, which is below the TFR, along with Kerala. We pay the highest GST in the country. We pay 34% of the GST, and we get back less than 11%. So that will. But let me come to another issue that will take on. The other issue that will be extremely important, and I think that INDI must face, is these 3 new draft bills that have come in a very simple language. If you go to these draft bills, forget everything else. 90 days police custody for thinking about harming the government. You can go in jail. Thinking. Judges can be prosecuted. Please understand, if the opposition can, in a coherent way, explain what these bills are, that along with what Dilip said about what's going to happen with the delimitation, with price rise, with economy, with Manipur, with China, a plethora of issues will be a problem. And the reason I'm using the word thinking is because they say intention. The word is intention. What is intention? How does the government prove intention? A judge can be suspended for not wanting to follow the law intentionally. What is intention? How does it happen?
It's subjective. But I don't know, Tessim, if that has that wide appeal that Javed talked about. I still...
it doesn't have to be technical. Like I said, it cannot be technical.
Okay.
Simple language of how this government is going to go after you. It will go after you. And people know they're going to. Just answer one question to
police it.
Which cheers BJP. And I'll answer this one question. Why does every person above 70 to 80 crore rupees, why is every person above that buying a house in Dubai? All of you come right now with me to Dubai. If you guys don't get 20-25% people you know on the street in Dubai from Delhi, Mumbai, I will change my name. Why is everyone buying a house in Dubai? Why are they buying? They cheer Narendra Modi government and they buy a house in Dubai and Singapore. Why?
Okay. What's a comment, Dilip?
Because your program is well known for its completeness, I think there's one issue that maybe we should flag. I don't know enough about it. It is the building up rumble around the caste census. I'm not sure how big an issue it's going to be and whether it will be a political issue for the elections. But I can see that a few parties are getting ready for this and the noises are still a little bit below the ground. Only Nitish has come out loudly screaming and shouting. But I think that in the northern states, this issue is going to probably resonate a lot. I don't know, but I just thought I'd flag that.
Correct.
No, so actually a very good issue because a lot of people are saying that Mandal versus Kamandal, right? Javed could come up, and I'm sure the UP and Bihar mein to bahut hoega ye issue. Javed?
UP mein hoga, Bihar mein hoga, all Hindi speaking states and also states like Tamil Nadu. And surprisingly, it's not just Nitish Kumar. The Congress has also lent its support. The Congress initially opposed Mandal Commission. Rajiv Gandhi gave a speech on the floor of Lok Sabha over close to 2 hours, if not more. And in his own roundabout way, he certainly did not support Mandal then. Now, of course, the Congress has been amongst the early starters. They followed the cue that Nitish has given them. They've come out openly and publicly in support of a caste census. And the census and the 2026 delimitation census will be the number of seats in Lok Sabha will increase to 800. And the biggest losers will be the states that have followed family planning, and the biggest gainers will be the state that I come from, UP, Bihar, where this principle has been given a go by. So their number of seats, theoretically speaking, can go up to 120, 126, whereas Tamil Nadu and Karnataka together will not cross 80.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of problem that you're staring. But how does the common man, how does my maid or my driver relate to this census? I mean, it just flies over the head.
It's about jobs.
It's about jobs.
Yeah, if you,
It's about-
yeah, it
it's
depends
about
how the
her
opposition
job.
sells the story.
It's about jobs, and it's also about this caste census can be look at this. There are a handful of elites, crony capitalists who are benefiting from this 5 trillion, 1 trillion, half a trillion economy. You are not getting any, and we are talking of caste census so that the people can find out the real number of backwards and forwards in caste. There'll be a figure you can put to the caste breakup, and accordingly then they will stake their claim to jobs in this country, to opportunities in this country.
Okay, Tehseen, before we take a break, yeah.
No, this caste census I completely agree with. It should be very simple, direct, take the bull by the horn. Jiski jitni sankhya bhari, uski utni hissedari, and be very specific. How many police commissioners, for example, in Javed state of Uttar Pradesh, are from the Dalit or OBC community? How many SPs are? How many DMs are? How many vice chancellors in Central University are Delhi Dalit fellow citizens OBC? When there is a provision in the constitution. Therefore, we are not saying take away somebody else's right. हम कह रहे हैं जिसकी जितनी संख्या बारी उसकी इतनी हिस्सेदारी. Do it and ask this question and add this question. If the BJP is a pro-Hindu party, which is claimed, why has no RSS chief ever been a Dalit or OBC? Ask this question with the caste census and let the BJP stand for.
So are we heading for a Mandal versus Kamandal? Yes, PKT.
Well, I'm a really surprised. Of course, it is started by Dilip ji's because he was just saying that this could be potentially can be an issue. But the way Javed Saab and my friend Tehseen is just supporting this cause of this caste census. May I ask you something like all our spiritual gurus, like Srinarayana Guru or the framers of our constitution, if you really look at it, Dr. Ambedkar, has all these people has envisioned a caste-less society. And that is, I'm talking about in the 100 years back to...
But that's an ideal world, but the reality is different.
I want a casteless. No, Priya, I want a casteless society. My simple question is, for a casteless society, why are there not as much representation of Dalits as police commissioners in Uttar Pradesh? Answer that question. If it is casteless, why is it only Dalits who become commissioner?
Okay, I can give an answer.
Okay, I'm going to get PKT's answer, but after a break. PKT, I'm going to come to you after a quick break. Tehseen and PKT, I need to take a break. I will come back to PKT after a very short break. Stay with us. And welcome back to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we're taking a look at the issues that the opposition can raise to put the government on the mat in the run-up to 2024. We were talking about the caste census before the break, and PKT, you wanted to come in. Then I'll get Tehseen.
I feel, Priyaji, that it looks like the ghost of the British colonial mindset is coming back to Congress. People who are,
1 second, I object.
Let him finish, then Tehseen will get your rebuttal.
No, I object very strongly. I'm sorry. I object. I will not allow. The minute Javed Saab and I speak about the marginalized Dalit OBC, you compare us to British. This is the biggest insult to Dalits and OBC.
Can I complete my statement, Tehseen? I think you should be rebutting to me full-fledged. I'm open to it, but then let me complete my statement.
Please go ahead.
Right. We are talking about in 2023 a progressive society wherein the people should not be divided by caste, creed, and other means or by their identity, by religion. But whereas what we are trying to do, again, break our society, wherever it has progressed. You can't say that it has not progressed. There are many states in the country, whether it is even in the state of Kerala or Karnataka, in many places, the casteist society has progressed as a Keralite or as an Indian, rather than just by a Nair, Nambiar or a Cherian or whatever it may be. I think what we should do, why it has happened in Bihar or in UP and etc., I will tell you, it is only because of the appeasement politics of Congress or the people who are like the Samajwadis and the Lalu Prasad Yadav, such kind of a people,
Let
they
me-
always wanted, this was the weapon
Okay.
for them to be in power, to use the Yadav vote bank, to use the
Okay.
vote bank, and so on and so forth. I think once you look back and think that the 55 years you had it in your hand as the golden period to create a society which is one, which is called as only Indian, and you have not been able to get my scheduled caste, scheduled tribe brothers and the tribals to the mainstream. It is
So
sad that
politics,
the failure of
I think-
Congress. It is the
okay,
failure
I
of
got
Congress,
this.
and it is
Dilip, I want to
actually
bring
the
Dilip in.
colonial mindset
See, I've
of
got your
dividing people is coming back.
No, I want to object. I don't
It looks, Priya, that I let the
Dilip.
cast out of the bag, but I'm
Hmm.
sorry for that. I just felt that it's necessary that we tick box. Since your program tends to do that, all the issues that can come or is likely to emerge as electoral issues. But I think that where PKD and several, I would say even Tehseen are joined at the hip, is that there is belief that the issue has to resonate with the kind of person who Javed mentioned. The maid who comes to the house, the cleaner who is in the street, making sure that we have a reasonably good environment. All these people must resonate with whatever issue. Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure PKD will come to this, that a holistic issue that is given by the BJP, which is India moving forward, defending our economic prowess and our place in the world, as well as our ability to get to the moon. All of these will also play to a different rhythm. So it really matters in communication terms for the election, at what decibel level you play each issue, because some issues will interest caste leaders who then decide to vote in a particular way. So we have to recognize that there is a calibration of issues which actually leads to electoral victory.
Yeah, well said, Dilip. I totally agree with what you said. That is how caste comes in, and how religion also comes in. You play up issues because it's coming to be a very divisive election, Javed. Would you say that this election would be more divisive than the last one?
Well, without doubt, without an iota of doubt, this will be a far more closely fought, a far more disruptive and divisive election. The BJP believes in fighting for every blade of grass out there, which is not a bad thing. You have to. They will not concede easily. They are not going out easily. They will fight, and they will fight and they believe in pushing all the buttons they can. So they will.
Which is okay as a political party. Why not?
No. It is not okay. Pushing all the buttons is not okay. There are a lot of buttons that you don't push, that you shouldn't be pushing. And I don't want to say it, and everybody knows it, what I'm talking about. But they will go. And so you have to be prepared to it. This is a wall of fire. The opposition, if it wants to, has to go through it. And those who come out unscathed will then live to fight the BJP.
Yeah,
so it's not going to be an easy fight by any yardstick. And already I can flag issues. On the 20th or the 22nd of January, the Ram Mandir will be inaugurated. There is already an effort to rake up. I mean, that effort is already underway. Kashi Vishwanath, now Christian Janambhoomi. So all these, everything is being kept on a soft boil. As elections approach, the heat will be turned on. So you have to be prepared. It's it's the easiest thing in the world is to pat your own back. We've got we are a 5 trillion economy. We are Vishwagurus. Now that is fine, but how has it made a difference to my life? That's a question that we'll have to answer. That's a question that will resonate in Tamil Nadu, as in UP, in Bengal, and in Orissa, and everywhere else.
I agree with you on that one. But unfortunately, that may not be the only issue. Yes, PKD?
In fact, I'll tell you what Ansari Sahab and even Tehseen was just talking about. How is it affecting the 5 trillion economy, or for that matter, even a 3 trillion economy, and all these so-called economic growth how is it helping the poor of the poor? It's a very good question. Then let me tell you that if you build a road, it's not only the rich go through that road. today the road network in India is at par with the US. Which
But
is
given the state of Himachal roads,
one
I think
second, one
roads is
second.
not-
You take a
Bill,
flight in almost every airport in our country today is
Yeah.
filled with people. All of them are rich people. Definitely no. I remember that when I was taking a flight from Delhi to Kerala, when I came to by train to here, and then from the first trip to Kerala by flight, it was 26,000 rupees then. And it was a privilege. And I was, when I went back my home, and I was like, oh, celebrity, like only the Gulf people used to come from the.
No, but
in
PKD
India, you
cheap
never need to
flights
travel.
happened in
So
the
there
UPA
is a
time. You cannot
huge
now.
change.
Yeah,
There is a huge change which is taken place. A large amount of people, or 80% of the population has been, farmers are being given these 2,000 rupees of monthly money direct
It's
transfer.
economics. Okay, I got that. I want to get Tessie when we're quickly out of time. Then I want to end this.
No. See, this is the narrative. Let's just bust through a few things and then I'll end my point. If planes and aviation is booming, and I understand the aviation business extremely well, why have 2 airlines gone under the bus right now recently? Where and Spices is hanging by a thread. Why? Please, I don't want to get into details and bore your audience. 4% of India travels by aviation today, and out of that, people like me travel twice a week, which makes up 80% of that boom population. So let's this government will only give you a statistic to bombast it. Let's not bore your audience. Let's come to a larger and more fundamental point. I think one point which I agree with my friend PKD and with Javed Chavez, and which will really affect the middle class, is this: the tax terrorism today in our country. I'm using this word with a lot of responsibility. There is tax terrorism today happening in India. And the kind of arbitrary powers, your GST has been criminalized today. This kind of tax terrorism, I'm again asking you a simple question I started with. Why is every Indian who's well-to-do buying a house in Dubai, Singapore, or moving away? Why is there the highest migration? This is a middle-class issue. So what Javed said about the caste census is extremely important, but the next issue is your tax terrorism. It is affecting people, and people are scared. People are scared.
So this whole narrative
Smita,
of big
Smita, Priya, just one thing I'll add to what Tessin was saying. These are government figures, not my figures. 360 Indians are leaving the country every day. 360. That I hope my friend Mr. P.K. Nambiar will think about why this is happening.
360 of the BJP's voters, PKD, what's happening?
No, very quickly. See, I think this is something which this does not worry me. What worries me is from the Punjab, the youth of my Punjab place where the people are just moving like anything. Every day you go to Delhi airport or Chandigarh airport, you will find thousands of people are leaving the Punjab. Rather than looking at 360 people or 140 crore population is leaving, which is very, very low, I would say. I would rather say that it is, as compared to any other country anywhere in the world, would be having the similar kind of a situation.
That's
but
not true.
The youth of this country or a youth of this country don't want it to stay in Punjab or in Kerala is the most worrisome, and I think we should use this both prosperous state as an example.
Okay, we are totally out of time now. Otherwise, I'll have to cut it.
So I will not allow falsehood.
You disagree. Okay, fine.
That is absolutely untrue. It's not Punjab and Kerala. The highest is from amongst the highest is from the state the Honorable Prime Minister comes from. Both legal and illegal immigration. In fact, just recently, 4 from a family twice have 4 from a family passed away from the great state of Gujarat, which is my mom's home state. Number 1. So actually, immigration is amongst the highest in Gujarat. Number 2, let's be very, very clear. This, what Javed Sahgal said, the data that the government thinks is the highest in the last decade that ever India seen immigration. So again, PKD, it's not true. 225,000 Indians gave up their citizenship. We're not talking about immigration. Gave up their citizenship. It's the highest ever in the history of our country. So
all right. On that note, I'm really out of time. So I'll probably call you both back. PKD, I know you want to rebut, but I will call you back for that. Thank you so much for this conversation. And we hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.